Hello, everybody. Our new guest today is a Norwegian living in Iceland, a student at Hola University, and she's not only training in Iceland, but also in the US, Canada, and Alaska. Vibeke Thoresen is in the Tell Tales podcast. Today we have Vibeke Thoresen. We always give the guest an opportunity to present themselves. So Vibeke, can you just briefly say who you are? Most people know you probably, but just briefly say, who are you? And then we dive into some questions.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. It's very fun. It's my first podcast. My name is Vibeke. I'm Norwegian. It is now 10 years since I moved to Iceland. I'm 29 years old. It's 5 years since I graduated Hola as a writing instructor. I also started my master, and I hope to continue that next autumn. I have left to write a master thesis, which is very exciting. I own some horses. I work for Gudmar at Hestaland. I'm also self-employed and teach both in Iceland and North America. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And like I said, I think most people know you already that listen to our podcast, because I start kind of from the back. People know you maybe also from the Horse Day app. You do some stuff, and the Horse Day app, they also share your stories quite often of your training. And I think you are one of the most followed people on that app. Could that be?
I didn't know that, but I use Horse Day a lot since the beginning, and I'm really happy with that it's all in one place. It's super cool. Very fun people to work with too.
Okay, that they are like a goal for us too. So maybe we catch them as well at one point.
You totally should.
Because I think it's interesting to see different perspectives. And I follow you also on that app. So I think it's great to see for myself when I look on what I want to train and how I want to train with my horses, to kind of get an idea how you do it as a professional, to just see, okay, she did it like this. She split the training up in those parts. So I think it's very inspirational.
Yeah, thank you. I like to use it too. So every time I open it, I also like to see what other people are doing, my friends or the people I follow. It's super interesting to get a little peek into other people's training.
Exactly. Okay, then let's start. We have some questions that we ask every guest, and we can see where they fit best. But you mentioned that you own some horses, and I will start actually with those easy questions. How many horses do you own? Do you know this?
Yeah, I should know at least. I do own... I got my first 2 foals this summer, so that's 2. And I have my gelding femur that I bought for Hola. Then I also have 2 mares. One of them is hopefully pregnant. She was scanned with twins. There was, but there is a chance that one of them will be absorbed. So I hope she either gets one foal or none foal. And then I have Shoulder, who is like one of my 2 hard horses. I don't own him, but I've had him now the last couple of years. So how many was that? 6?
6, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But I also, I did also just buy another horse now this Christmas with my boyfriend. So 7. I forgot about her.
Okay, that would be my next question. When was the last time you bought a horse? So you bought another horse now with your boyfriend?
Yeah, just now in the Christmas holiday.
Okay. Yeah. Was it a gift for both of you?
Almost. It was a very good opportunity through Gudmar.
Okay.
One of his friends was selling this mare. She's 4 years old after a roper from Kirkjufell. So he was, I think, the highest judged 4-year-old stallion in 2020. He's a Biscayan. And after a very nice mare. So she was at Hestaland, and Gudmar asked me the day before I was going on Christmas holiday if I want to buy this horse. And I was like, yeah, maybe I do. And I tried her, my boyfriend tried her, and we bought her.
So it fits, you have a good feeling. Do you want to use her for breeding, or you want to use her as a riding horse?
We're going to use her as a riding horse. So we haven't brought her home yet, even. But she should come now any day. And I was thinking to continue to ride her and train her. And then my boyfriend will probably use her in some treks together with Hesteland. And we will see where it goes after a few years.
This sounds really exciting.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you live close to Hesteland, or how do you do this? Because you have your horses at home, right?
Yeah, we do. In the summertime, we don't have a stable at home, but in the summer we have the horses at home. But I live Icelandic distance, close to Hesteland, but it is still like a 20-30 minute drive.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It is totally okay. And I do have my own training horses at Lundar Horse Breeding, a stable that's also like 20 minutes away. So I have always one horse at Hesteland and the rest of my training horses at Lundar. Or at home in the summertime.
Yeah. Do you have like a possibility to ride if you don't have a stable, but do you have a track somewhere close by at your place?
Yeah, we do. Here at home we can ride all over. It's trail riding though, but it's short to go. It's just 10 minutes to the Agriculture University of Iceland, where there is an old track, breeding show track, keep riding hall. 20 minutes to Borgarnes, where we also have it, and Hesteland and stuff. So we're not in lack of facilities.
In Borgarnes, we went to the riding house actually there when we were in Hesteland last year. And we ended up seeing some training there, and I think the end of a competition. We didn't really know. We just looked around.
Right.
It was really fun. So and the track looked awesome, even though it was March. So it was a bit cold still. So there was not so much outside, but inside.
Yeah, the competition season is still inside in March, but
yes,
that's it. It's a good place to be if you're in horses, to be here in Western Iceland around Borgarnes.
Yeah, we were really surprised. Like, it just there, and like such a big facility. We don't have this. We don't have a track at home. So for us, it was like, we just were amazed.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you are Norwegian. And you didn't start necessarily with Icelandic horses, right?
No, I didn't. I only started riding Icelandic horses when I moved here.
Okay, because I read that you were like more into racing horses and show jumping.
Yeah, that's correct.
How did that like? And you also said you moved to Iceland 10 years ago, roughly.
Yeah.
So what happened in your life that you decided now it's Icelandic horses and Iceland?
It was, I think, very spontaneous. I would say so. But it was maybe also a little bit in my subconscious mind. So to take it from the start, in my hometown where I grew up, we had trotters, cold-blooded trotters, where we used them for like sulkies and also their saddle, which was my favorite. But for high school, I moved to northern Norway to do like horsey high school. And there I continued to work more with the trotters at a professional level, but also at a show jumping stable with the 3 riders who have been in the Olympics. So that's where I got my experience there. But I did an internship in high school where I visited Katrine Fodstad, who now has Ride Like a Viking. And she was the first one to tell me about Tola. But then I think 2 years passes and I'm finishing high school. And I have always thought education is very important. And then I was like, well, what's that university in Iceland again? And I realized it's a university, like bachelor level, to become a riding instructor. So I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm moving to Iceland. So in, I don't know, maybe like 6 months before moving, I went to Iceland and visited Lundar, where I still have my horses today. Ended up being there for a year to learn Icelandic and learn Icelandic horses, and started Olav a year later.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was the education part that brought me to Iceland, that the Icelandic horse made me stay.
That I think it's also extremely brave to, like, at such young age, to say, okay, I go to another country, learn another language. Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. But my family is my dad had worked almost my whole life abroad,
Mm-hmm.
and some of my family also live in the Netherlands, Germany, Canada. So
Okay.
I'm used to traveling, so it didn't feel like a big step in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably then also more open to explore other nationalities, other countries, other
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yeah, I really think that's super fun. I love that. That was also the reason why I moved away for high school. So I moved away from home when I was just 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I was
Okay.
19 when I moved to Iceland. 18 or 19.
Very impressive. But so coming from the big horses, do you feel like that is giving you a different perspective? Because we talked, for example, also with Gunmar about it, that he in Kentucky also like experienced other horse breeds,
Yeah.
and coming then from the trotters, they are very special, even though they can be gated.
Mm-hmm.
But show jumpers obviously are normally not gated. So
So
how do you experience this kind of the difference between the different kind of horse breeds and styles of handling horses? I wouldn't necessarily say riding because of the sulky as well, but
yeah,
handling horses and everything. How do you experience that? Does it help you?
yeah, I think so. I think a lot about this actually, and we also talk often about it. In one way, I think it's like exactly the same. We all want healthy horses that can perform at whatever level for like the longest time, to have fun with the horses, and then we have like individual goals. But then it's
Yeah.
also very different where I was working like professionally with horses in Norway. It was very, very professional. So for example, with the trotters, we have um what's it called, uh, like a watch on your arm that says
Okay.
the heartbeat pulse of the
Yeah,
horse.
like a pulse meter.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm?
So in front of the sulky, there was this little tablet showing that when you're driving at this speed, you're in that zone. And we had to
Mm?
drive like X kilometer in that zone. And it was kind of similar with the show jumping barn, where it was at a very high level. We also did very like specific training. So anyone who could ride could do the job as being like the home groom, which I was, riding the horses that was like in between seasons and in between shows. And there we would also do, for example, 20 minutes trot on asphalt, which is
Mm?
quite untraditional. But they
Yeah.
did it to get that like system, no, how do you say it, course of their legs to
Yeah.
strengthen, like so they can tolerate the landing of those high jumps. We also did a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the canter intervals, also with the with the trotters.
Mm?
With the trotters, we also did a lot of galloping in deep sand, even though they only compete in trot.
Yeah.
But then the difference when I came to Iceland, here people ride so much on their feeling. They like have it in their like fingertips, and you just like feel what feels right today. So there
Yeah.
I maybe noticed the biggest difference. But I do also think in Iceland that I met very like structured, well researched riders and trainers. So I
Yeah.
do see the similarities with that structured training too.
That was actually when around 10 years ago, I went to Iceland, the first
Mhm.
and second time only like in my life.
Yeah.
And we had a guide for the tour, and he always said like to ride with soft eyes. And that
Oh.
was something that really like it resonated with me, but it was
Mm.
something that I didn't experience before, like that somebody had told me soft eyes, soft
Yeah.
hands, and go more with the feeling, less kind of technical stuff.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. But the
Yeah.
pulse stuff, that was something that we actually so we have also two of our podcast guests from the first season, like
Mhm.
really in the beginning, Sabina Svert and Linda Andersson.
Yeah.
Linda is a vet, and we did a training with them. We went to Jägersro here in Malmö on the
Ah.
track for the trotting horses,
Yeah.
actually. But with our Icelandic horses, and we
Mhm.
had a pulse meter on the Icelandic horses, and we did several rounds on this trotting track, and also then took blood samples
Yeah.
to check kind of how the training affects the horses. that was extremely interesting. And we still have the pulse tracker. So I think it's a really interesting thing to see how the horse is kind of doing additionally to some horse day app or something where you see.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, no, I also find it super interesting. These days, it's been the last couple of years, I have been very lucky to be sponsored by Thoresen, who is a Norwegian saddle company. But the owner, or one of the owners, her name is Tonje Lunnes. She's also a veterinarian, and they also have Icelandic horses and trotting horses. And we've had a lot of good conversation about how to train trotters, how to train Icelandic horses, and like combine the techniques and so on. It's super interesting.
Yeah, I think for Linda, because she works in a clinic and they have also trotting horses kind of connected to the owner of the clinic. So I think she has the different perspective. So I think this is a really interesting thing when you kind of step outside of your bubble to take the good and interesting part and then apply it to the Icelandic horse world.
Yeah.
To just see some different things.
Yeah, exactly.
You studied at Hola, so you did your bachelor there, and you're doing a master now. You want to finish it. Do you want to continue? This is off topic, but do you want to continue? Is there a possibility to do like something like a PhD? Do you want to do something like this, or you say, okay, master level is something, and then I stop and?
Yeah, I think for me it's enough with a master. Because I do think, but I hear I might be wrong or just lack knowledge, but I do think if you're going to take it further, you need to like research, for example, equine nutrition or animal genetics. And that is two topics that is not my favorites. I'm more into like horse training, rider connection, and like the normal hands-on dealing with horses and people.
Yeah, because you have the background in equine science and you do like evidence-based practices. So you have a scientific insight.
Yeah.
But you can then apply it also to like training exercises.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that super interesting. I still read a lot about what's it called again? Equitation Science International or so. They publish a lot about like horse training. They have two like rather new books called something like Training of the Modern Horse. I can maybe give you the link, so I'm not saying
that would be great. Yeah,
but I really like those books, and it's that like really like practical training of the horse that is scientifically proven, and I find that super interesting.
How do you implement that then into your like day-to-day life with the horses and also with your students?
I think it is a lot about learning for myself how horses learn and to teach people how horses learn. I think if you understand how the horse experience the situation we put them in, whether that is just getting the horse from the field, grooming them, picking up the feed, studying a young horse, or doing like specific dressage exercise in a horse you know for years, you can get big improvements if you are maybe a little bit stuck or just haven't focused on a certain area. To take it from the horse perspective, how can this horse experience this to be easier? How can we do it on their terms so they understand the purpose and meaning of the exercise? So a lot of horse behavior, I think, is the key to put into the teaching, both for the horse and for riders and trainers.
Do you also then, I know that when I was a child, people were always like, I went to holidays to a riding camp and then people started looking for me, like, where is Ariane? They couldn't find me. And I was sitting for hours at a field just watching horses and looking how they interact. This is also something for me, like, really interesting to just see how horses are without the human and then see how they are with the human.
Exactly. I think that's a very good perspective to have. And I think the more we look at horses, just observe. And that can be in any situation. Just look at a herd, sit and watch a competition without looking at the competition, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But just observe what's going on. And I think also when you're learning about horse behavior, and now there's a lot of focus on conflict behavior, I think if we can recognize conflict behavior, if we can recognize the social behavior that the horse needs, or how they interact with other horses or the rider, we get so much information. And I think getting that information is what you can build on. And it's not like good and bad information. It's just information, just the horse is talking to you and you can understand them.
Exactly. You anyway need to see what you do then with the information, but it's really important to just kind of take it in and then process it and apply it then later.
Yeah.
You also do non-written groundwork, I think. Did I read something about it? And liberty work. Yeah. So you also, and this comes back to like behavior of horses and then the relationship with a horse, but not just like, we always talk about people do training if they want to compete, but it's not necessarily about competing a horse. This is your end goal, right? It is about the relationship with the horse. Yeah. How do you implement like different things into your interaction with the horses?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not always completely sure about the answer. For example, now this was just 2 days ago. I have a 4-year-old newly gelding in training. So he is within a bit. He knows how to go forward, turn left and right and stuff. He offers a lot of tilt, which is very nice. Cool. But now since he is gelded, I'm not riding him too much. But I still want to keep him moving and keep it going. He has gotten enough rest and enough movement. But so I have been doing a lot of tilt in hand. And tilt in hand I also do very much with my 19-year-old stallion, Schuler. Well, he's not mine, but I call him mine. Yeah. Because I want to warm him up very well. And I have to be honest with myself that I'm not the best at warming up and up and walk. I wanted to keep him going, so we were doing tilt in hand with the bridle on and even a lunchinger. Then I take off the lunchinger, do a little bit more, and then I end up taking the bridle off, which I always do when I'm done training and they can roll around with the riding off. But then I was like, I wonder what happens if I try to do a tilt in hand with a neck rope, or just put the reins around the neck. And I do that, and it was just as easy as it was with the bridle on. I could change direction, move the shoulders, move the hindquarters, go into tilt. And then I took off the neck ring and did it again. And I think so
without anything.
Yeah, without anything. Wow. It is a small riding hall though, so there's no much place to go, but he could walk away if he wanted to.
Yeah.
If we call that liberty or not, is maybe a definition question. But I do think with that it's very fun to see that I'm, as like a proof to myself, that I'm not teaching him to tilt with the reins. It's also my body language from the ground, from using my hand on his side, from the voice commands, and that I don't rely on only one type of equipment. And this was maybe like a 10-12 minute session all in all. But I do think though, when you kind of put up these challenges to yourself to do this with a bridle, without the bridle, neck rope, it doesn't matter so much what the equipment is, but just trying it and again see what information you get. And here I did get information that he knows how to do tilt in hand and move the shoulders, change direction, move the hand. So I think that was very fun. And I think that also builds quite a bit of a strong connection with the horse.
Yeah, I
that
think
there's
so too.
Always a choice and things are always the same. Yeah.
I feel when I hear you talking about it, and sometimes I also ride just with the neck ring with Louis, my older horse, because I know that he sometimes struggles with the connection, and overall I know he's, especially in a track, he's way happier when I remove everything from his face. He's a bit weird in the face. And the feeling that I have when I ride him in any gait without anything in the front, kind of.
Yeah.
I would almost describe it as I open my heart in a way that shows him also I trust him, and I feel like this makes our connection even more special.
Yeah, I feel the same. I really do. Yeah.
But this is amazing with a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
and it really shows you then the horse wants to interact with you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you say, he could go away, but if he's with you and mentally stays there, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think it's super fun, and I think that's also something that I have been reflecting on now when there's been so much talk about social license to operate the last 5 years or so, is that I think, at least how it is with my training, but I can also say for the places that I've worked, for where I work now, all the training could be film posted online, and I don't think anyone would have any big reaction to it. Of course, there's different opinions on how to do things, but I do think almost all of the training I've seen the last 5 years, but also what we did at Tola, is very easy to defend why it's okay, because it is on the horses. Like we do, like it is a good horse welfare. We're not forcing the horse to do something they're not capable of, or throwing them into deep water and saying figure it out.
you do prioritize the horse's well-being and give them a positive experience. That is something that, looking at your like social media feed, but also your website, that really becomes clear that this is something that you try to work on. And
but if it's written on the website or not, I still think it's very important that all horse training improves the horse. And I don't only mean then like gait-wise or connection, like rein connection, for example, but that the horse gets healthier, stronger, more symmetric, improves like the life quality, gets better fur, gets better or coat, gets better hooves, that everything improves within the horse, that they get a better social life. So I really do try to focus on that. Of course, also that they improve in the gaits and can fit to whatever purpose they are gonna have. Yeah. So I think it's important to prioritize the horses.
Yes, it's a sustainable horse, if we use a word that is kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
We talked about traveling, and that you're used to traveling, your family traveled or moved abroad, and just recently you've been to Alaska for some time.
Yeah, I spent a month in Alaska.
Yes. Actually, your postcard that you sent to us is on our fridge. Can we talk a bit about your time in Alaska, actually? Just overall, how did you end up in Alaska? Like, what is the connection there? And just tell us everything.
Where to start? I do have to say it's all thanks to Goodmar. I have gotten so many opportunities to work abroad or in North America from Goodmar, from his connections. But it started with that I was teaching in Wyoming, which will now probably be my 4th year. And then it expanded to Canada, where I've probably spent now maybe 3 months in total training and teaching horses. And last year I spent a month or a month and a half in BC and British Columbia and Canada. And together with Kaylee Kavanagh, and there was a breeding show that I ended up showing quite a few horses, which was not planned, but a fun opportunity. And on like literally my last day there, there was a woman who had come down to BC all the way from Alaska, and she was like, "Is there anyone here who would like to come to Alaska to give lessons?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do that." So she was like, "Okay, cool, you can come." And come a year later. So this summer, I did spend a month in Alaska, almost a month in the Yukon, and a month in BC again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very fun travel. But in BC, I've been working for Arnold Faber, who has been there running a very big farm, probably the biggest Icelandic horse breeder in North America. And he is also kind of like connection point, meeting point. So there I've gotten to know a lot of fun people. And I also have to mention Lena from Dalewood Icelandic. She's in Ontario, so on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think they follow us on Instagram.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure they do.
Hey to you.
So all of these people that I met in North America kind of led to this place, and they were recommending me to go to different people in Alaska. Also, Karen, who lives in Alaska, I had already met her at Testaland the year before. So I got to see some familiar faces too. I also sold a stallion to Alaska, to Ellen Halverson. So then I also had one more connection there. So all of a sudden I had 3 connections in Alaska and got to teach. I drove. Alaska is a very big state, but there's not that much road system. But I drove like literally almost everywhere I could, from all the way down south in Homer to all the way north of Fairbanks, where you can't really drive further. You have to fly out to this little off the grid.
Yeah, I think people that are interested in should look for. There's a show called The Yukon Vet. That is kind of displaying the life of a female veterinarian in Yukon. It's very interesting. So this is why I felt also when you said that you go to the Yukon, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
It really was. I had a fantastic time in the Yukon. There I was mainly teaching 3 Icelandic courses, but also some big courses, which was very fun.
This comes then handy that you already know big courses and you know how to. Sometimes they are a bit different, but not so much. But it's probably handy that you're not afraid.
No, I'm used to the size. Even though this was probably my biggest horses that I met so far. It was 2 young horses that I started out. And one of them was, I don't know, maybe like 170. But they had a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old that was already like 193 centimeters. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like when you sit on that horse, then you're like,
can't be
you can touch the sky. Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And you train the horses, you train the people, you also give clinics, right?
Yeah.
How do you prepare your clinics, and what are you doing then for clinics?
They vary very much from place to place. So I would say like half of the time we do like very well organized clinics where we have a topic, for example, the Icelandic training scale, how to assess your own horse, how the asymmetry is. So we go over like how kind of like a checklist or a booklet, you can print it out, where we assess horses, look at them from the ground, how they feel while riding, how they stand, how the posture is, and also do that in the lessons. Also go slightly over the rider, even though I'm no rider biomechanics expert at all. But you can still see things.
Yeah, you have probably also a good eye for it over time.
I try to learn from my own chiropractors and veterinarians and physiotherapists. They have also a lot to teach us. We have also had gaited dressage, competition, young horse focus. So kind of what people want. And sometimes we also do just private lessons that are quite long, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours.
Okay.
So I'm up for anything. I can also, of course, come with ideas.
Anything people ask you to teach them. Do you feel there's a difference in how you approach things, for example, in Alaska compared to Iceland or also to other countries? Because you teach also in other countries, right? Do you teach in Wyoming? Do you feel like there are differences in how people approach the training, approach the horses?
Like yes and no. I think the Icelandic horse community or the interest of Icelandic horses is so niche. So I think we have a lot of similarities. I do maybe think the biggest difference is, unfortunately, like the environment.
Okay.
So, for example, the horses in Alaska, they have to get used to the smell of bears, moose, people shooting guns. Because it's hunting season.
Well, we live close to a shooting range, so our horses are used to that as well.
Yeah. So that was maybe one of the things I noticed the most in Alaska. I did also go riding a lot, and also down in BC in Canada. Well, also in Yukon, everywhere. It seems like there are a lot of bears and moose, and they have such a strong smell, so they have to get used to that. Also, the insects and bugs. Unfortunately, the summer eczema is a bit of an issue, and I have met a few horses. I don't know how they got it, but they have a bit of respiratory issues, so they need like asthma treatment. So that may be something that I'm not used to from Iceland. But I do think like the training interest, the training system, they're all very eager to hear. I call it like the Hodar system. How we start up young horses and train them, follow Knapamerki. It's very systematic, well organized, easy to follow. It makes sense. The Icelandic or the training pyramid from Hola is also like, if you follow that step to step, if you like finish one step of watercolor, you will be brought to the next one.
Yeah.
So maybe within a session, you can go up from step 1 to 5 and then back down again. If you have an older horse, you can use the whole scale and go up and down within one lesson, or you aim for it within like 5 years to get a horse with collected and extended gaits. So I do think the training is exactly the same as it is in Iceland. Just depends on the focus of the horse and rider.
It's really interesting because the teaching pyramid that you talked about now, we just recently, like 2-3 weeks ago, we got a PDF from Gudmar.
Right.
So that was really interesting also to see, because I learned the German way when I grew up in Germany, and to see it side by side and see the similarities and then see differences and how it's explained. So I really like your approach to it as well.
Yeah, I also find it super interesting. I might be wrong about this, and I don't know if that's German scale or another one, but I do know that sometimes riding styles have different placement of straightness and suppleness.
Yes.
Something like you first need the horse to be supple on both sides and then it becomes straight. And some say you need to ride the horse straight and then you can bend them both ways.
Yeah, now I also don't remember, but like in the PDF it said it's the German scale. So, but I remember that they were kind of switched around to the Icelandic Hola one.
I think it makes sense to have the horse like bendable and supple first, and then it becomes straight.
Yeah. Exactly. You teach not only in Iceland, you teach all around the world. Do you also teach online? Do you do something like this, or do you just teach in person? And how does like a lesson with you look like when you first meet somebody?
I am up for teaching online, but we haven't had the best success with it. I think we have been trying some Pivo and similar things, but it's a little bit too hard to see like the details. So it's maybe fine if I already know the person and like know what's up and to like continue. So I do a little bit of that, but not a lot at all. I do like 95% teaching in person. And when I am teaching people, I think a typical first lesson, or I should say, most of my lessons are quite long. We put up usually 1 hour for each rider, or if two people are together. And I think a good place to start is just to like, I join them, get the horse, they groom, saddle up the horse, and then kind of observing them, not judging them.
Already before they even get into riding.
Yeah, if that's possible. It's not always in clinics when there's many people who are gonna do like, or if we have 8 or 12 lessons in a day, that's not possible, of course.
Then,
So it depends on the situation. But I really love to just come with them for a color day, but it's just an hour. See how they are, and also to have the rider or horse owner tell me everything they want to tell me. I feel people very often have a lot on their heart. They're thinking out loud and get to express what they're feeling, show it. I often try the horse and the horse owner rides the horse again. That's a very typical first lesson.
Okay, so that you also get the feeling, not just what the rider or the horse owner tells you, but also that you feel the horse yourself.
Yeah. I like that actually more and more, to also get to try the horse.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I know what you mean, and sometimes it's like, oh, but I actually feel it's like this or on the other side. Yeah. But I really do like to just have like very like just being like friends, like horsey friends, talk horses, talk about your horse, and we just talk and ride through it for the first lesson. I really like that. And then I think it's very easy to continue with more like structured training. I would say most of my students, they almost always want to do like an asymmetry test of the horse, or like assessment, I mean. So we often end up doing that like in the second ride, and then a third day do like specific exercises to make the horse straight or even out something.
Do you have a go-to exercise to kind of straighten the horse and to help the horse improve overall? Or you have, I mean, due to your education, you probably have like such a big toolbox, but do you have something that you really like to try with most of the horses and the students?
Yeah, I think that's maybe more of like a system rather than exercise. Yeah. So I think that's also very much from Hola. We have this like assessment paper of the horse. The one from Hola is like, you look at the coat, hooves, equipment, that it's there still when you mount, and then you also like score the gaits, length of stride, quality, speed range, etc. Like notes on horse and rider. So I do like a mental checklist of that. But maybe what I do that is like a go to, maybe not exercise, I don't know what to call it, is to just go over the horse, like a asymmetry assessment. Which shoulder are they leaning more on? Which hind leg are they resting? So if they, for example, are very inactive with their right hind, a shoulder into the right would benefit. For example. So then a shoulder into the right would maybe be a exercise we could do. So I think it just bringing it down into strengths and weaknesses in the horse. See, I really like to just look at the horse without equipment and see if they are like bended to the left or to the right. Feel the horse's back with my hands. If they're like maybe some muscle atrophy on either side. I also really like to. Maybe that is probably my go-to exercise. I very often stand in front of the horse and I flex their pole. So the pole is just the front part of their neck, not the whole neck. And I flex the pole to both sides. And you very often notice some stiffness. Some horses are super supple. And then I also bend the neck to either side, which is called kissing the stirrup in Icelandic. But then I also like to walk back to the horse and really like grab the tail and wiggle a little bit to see how the spine moves. And that's also something I do almost every time I meet someone new, or long time since last time.
This is also really interesting because it again is a bit different to like you go into a riding house, for example, and you just sit on and you go and just work on like the gaits, because you again get a connection with the horse in a different way. That I really like that.
Yeah. And here, but now I start to, now I'm like in my zone. So for example, if I meet a horse and rider, so meanwhile the horse is being grouped, then I maybe like grab the tail and check how supple the spine is. When they are about to get on, I maybe check with a bit how they can flex the pole. So for example, if the horse is very stiff in the pole to the right, it again makes sense to do a shoulder into the right, because in a shoulder in, the pole also needs to be flexed. They also have like even bending in the body, but we also flex the pole. So that could maybe be then a reason why shoulder into the right feels a little bit more resistant than shoulder into the left, where they do flex the pole with suppleness, but not to the right. So then maybe that's something to work with, and to access the pole. It can help to lift the inside hand, or even like twist and turn your wrist. Then you also get to lift because then you lift the bit just into the corner of the mouth. So that's again something like specific breed horse or individual breed horse. Yeah,
that's really interesting. It's like those tiny movements of your own body and your posture to just kind of see, test, and then kind of adjust accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you think about long reining? Because you can see the horse from the ground, or is it more that you would want to walk next to a horse when you do some groundwork?
I would probably love long reining. I don't have those type of reins in Iceland. I have like launching rope and reins, but I really like to work the horse from the hand. And that started as that was my New Year resolution for 2025, to always do some work in hand before I ride. Yeah. And I kept it pretty good, and I loved it more and more. So I do quite much, for example, tilt in hand, trot in hand. With my own gelding, we even do like canter in hand, which I think is super fun. And he's a 5-getter, but it's I think it's very fun. You don't maybe see the horse so much when you are on like a normal rein. So I would, if I had those long reins, I should probably bring them forward. I would probably do that a lot.
How often do you actually give training? Because you are quite busy, right? You train horses, you have your own horses. Okay, now I really, I have more questions, and they were not really. So first of all, what are you doing with your foals? What is your plan with your foals?
So I got a stallion foal and a mare foal. Yeah. The stallion foal, he's just mine, and I have already decided I want to keep him a stallion, and I would love to go through the process of like a breeding show horse with him.
Nice.
But to do it all myself, I have some experience training those horses, but I haven't shown almost any horses. I got to show though a few in Canada, but that was like quite spontaneous, so I didn't know them for more than a couple of weeks. So I would like to bring him to a breeding show. Actually, like even if I know he's not going to get the first prize, I still want to go through that system.
And I mean, you really have time to work and train for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it is. And the mare or mom of the foal, she is owned by my father-in-law, and he also got his first prize stallion after that mare. He got like I think 844 total. A beautiful 4-getter stallion. So I have high hopes for my boy too. And then the other one that became a mare, the mom to the foal was or is owned by my boyfriend, and it's the last foal of that mare. So we said if I get a mare, we will co-own her, and if it's a stallion, he will be mine. And it's a mare, so I own her together with my boyfriend Gudmundur. Yeah. And I think we will just keep her as our riding horse. She is after his favorite mare and after my favorite stallion that I had at Hola shoulder.
Oh, wow.
So
a dream horse.
Oh, totally.
And she's extremely cute as well.
She is. She is like identical to shoulder, the stallion.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's super fun.
And I mean, you can later see if you want to breed with her. If she has such a good lineage, then you can still see what you do with her later on.
Exactly. Yeah. So with her, we would just see what future she has, but she will be ours. And we will enjoy her.
How does a day in your life actually look like?
So what usually my day look like, or what I want it to look like, is I work at Hestaland, approximately like half day. So I usually come there at 9 to 12 and do some work for Gudmar. That can be teaching winter workshop, doing the social media, or doing whatever we need to do for his online educational form or platform for me. And I always have one horse at Hestaland, so I try to ride there also 5 days a week. Okay. Then I go to Lunta, where I have my training horses after lunch. And there I have from 4 to 8 horses, not all in full training, usually like 4 in full training. So right now I have one sales horse, 2 of my own, and 1 training horse that's owned by a woman in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's 5. and that's 4-year-old gelding. So I have 5 horses that are in like full training. But we are also going to bring our new horse, Brett is her name.
Okay.
Brett from Bischmersteden. But she's just 4, so she will be in very light training.
Yeah.
Maybe written like 3 times a week, maybe one day of something else, or just even being a hand horse, getting in some kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something like that. My boyfriend will also continue to ride now soon. I don't know when he's taking in the horses. Probably not later than February. But then I will help him start up a young horse. He will maybe then train my gelding as a favor in return.
Yeah.
And then the day is done and I go home. I'm very excited to go to work again. I feel super lucky working with Gudmar at Hesteland, also getting all of these opportunities to teach abroad.
Yeah.
So I'm really loving my day-to-day life. But they are, so for example, this week already, I have only ridden 3 times this week because there are things coming up. So yesterday I was at an event in Reykjavik the whole day. And
yeah. There's always stuff coming up with horses that you need to attend to.
Yeah. So it's very, almost no days the same.
And then competition season is coming up again?
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. I have at least 2 horses to compete on. My gelding that I always like to compete on for fun. He is just like, he makes me so happy when I'm done riding. I'm like smiling the rest of the day. And then I have Shoulder that I still get to like just get experience on in 5K and outlookers. So we're gonna try to do our best there. There is so many competition here in the area. There is a winter league, open competitions, and quite a bit of competition outside this season. And I just joined the competition and education committee in the riding club. So so there's lots of fun things happening.
You keep yourself busy.
Yeah,
that's
I think
for sure.
We can compete here every weekend if we want to, from like February out June.
I'm sometimes so surprised, like when I look on Horse Day app to just see like the schedule, I'm like, shit, you could just go wherever you want, and it's really nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Then of course, mostly it's probably on the west coast, I guess.
Yeah, it is
somewhere, and then down to Reykjavik.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you also actually take lesson?
Yeah,
I didn't ask you about it. Like, how do you, because you give training to people, but do you also continue to educate yourself, not just by reading and learning like mind-wise, but also physically? Yeah. Do you do like have a certain trainer or trainers to train with?
I'm very open. I try to write as many lessons as I can. Gudmar probably teaches me the most since I've been working there now. I think this is my 5th year at Hesteland.
Okay.
So for example, now in end of November, I brought a horse there to get quite a few lessons on. And now the first weekend in February, I'm going to a clinic with Olil Ample, where I will bring some of my horses. So I'm very excited for that. That's just in 3 weeks or so now.
Have you trained for her before?
Yeah, I do. A couple of times.
So you know her already a bit.
Yeah.
How she how it feels, and
she's a fantastic riding teacher. Very different from what I'm usually used to.
Okay.
And I have to mention my favorite riding instructor. That's Tony Anton Paul Nilsson. He was teaching us at Pola. Also, when I was in Alaska, I got a few different clinics. One from Alexandra Montan Gray. That was super fun. Yeah, she was amazing to ride for. I would love for her to maybe give a clinic in Iceland if she's available. She was fantastic. No, but I tried to sign up for any riding lesson I can.
So you try to get your hands on,
Yeah, we can all learn from everyone.
You never stop learning, that's for sure.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So you had the experience to learn with Gudmar Is it correct that I also read that you were also working or had some interactions with Mette and Gisli?
Yeah,
Is that
I
something that you did?
There. Yeah.
Okay. How was that, and when did you do that? And
that was when I was in the north of Poland. I spent the whole winter there. Only first time, so probably about a year first time I worked there, and then 5 years ago, before I started working for Gudmo, I also worked there. But that was I almost wish I could go back there. It's just so far away. They're all the way up in the north. I feel more like home here in the west. But I would work there if I could leave my house or somewhere. I would work there again immediately. I learned so much from both Mette and Gisli, and it was so much fun.
But I thought it was so nice to talk to you.
Same to you.
And I really love to follow you on all the social media, to kind of follow you also on your travels when you went to Norway last year, and these mountains and everything. It's
beautiful
impressive.
Nature. It never disappoints. Never get tired of it.
So we will actually come to Landsmort. So
amazing!
Hopefully we run into each other.
I think we will. I wasn't sure if I was going, but I can't miss it. I have too much of a FOMO. Yeah. So I will see you at Landsmort.
Yes, that would be super great. Yeah. And then we anyway want to meet up with all the people that we now recorded with. So thank you everyone for listening. We will come back to you in around 2 weeks with a new episode. In the meantime, do not hesitate to share this episode with everyone, like, comment, or reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow Vibeke on Instagram. She has a website as well, and we will put all the links, also the links that we discussed about, in the description of the episode. We are looking forward to bring you another interesting guest. And with that, I say thank you, Vibeke. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.